Live.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the main event. Here with me, Daniel.
And Aaron.
And we're also joined by Fantasy Ed. How are you doing, Ed?
All right, thanks. How are you? Thanks for inviting me on. Last minute. It was very, very exciting.
Yeah, well, it looked like you are having a good time with a certain captaincy choice tonight. And you said that you were going to watch. I thought, why not just join in?
Massive fan and love it. And I've been Limitless 3 for weeks, as you know, Dan. So I'm really glad that it looks like I've started so well. I've now got a massive issue that we'll chat about later. But yeah,
I'm in the same boat, mate. I didn't Limitless, but I've got benching headaches. I've got captaincy headaches, but they're all happy headaches. Yeah. So I hope.
We say this. That's like a manager, isn't it? He's got too many good players. It's not a happy headache, though, is it? It's like a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare. You can't sleep at night. It's not a good headache. People say it's a good headache. There's no good headaches. Come on.
Yeah, but I'd rather have this headache than Adan's -4 points.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, okay. I get you.
We are now witnessing and kind of experiencing what Gareth Southgate feels on a night where he's like, I don't know who to bench. I don't know who to play.
I don't know how to win. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's exactly that. Aaron, I mean, excellent stuff from you. I mean, just absolutely superb with the Adan shout, roping me into backing it on the last podcast in just absolutely superb work with the curse.
I mean, technically, if we rewatch that bit of the podcast, you said him on the wild card shout, and then I said the portal keeper.
But I think I actually just nicked your choice, didn't I? I'm sure just flat out, because obviously there's a lot of talk about theft in the FPL community at the minute. So I just thought I'd just outright steal your Adan choice right in front of your face. Hello, Abdul.
Hey, guys.
So how you doing, Abdul?
I'm doing good. Happy after the first 2 games.
I like.
We'll talk about it more.
What's that behind you? Is that a curtain? It looks like you're like the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a curtain actually.
Lads, let's jump into it. Let's get stuck right into this match day because it's been proper mental stuff. Aaron, do you want to tell us where we should kick off? What game should we kick off with?
And then I think it needs to be the early kickoffs.
Yeah, and then in these games, obviously, let's start with Bayern. We'll start with Bayern. Now, full disclosure, I've had a busy day at work today, and afterwards we were treated to tapas and drinks. Not that I actually had a drink. So I didn't see any of the game. I was just getting the feeds through from other people. So did any of you 3 watch the game?
I did. I don't know if anyone else does.
So, I watched the Bayern game.
You watched the Bayern game, did you, Abdul?
Yep, I watched the entire Bayern game.
So what did you both think of it?
I'll let Adan go first.
Yeah, it was pretty sorted by the first 20 minutes. After Mane's goal, it was done, dusted. You were just praying for a clean sheet. And no early substitutions, which we were treated to, thankfully, for some. And but other than that, they got the job done and they're happy with the clean sheet, and they were just resting players for Dortmund on the weekend.
Abdul, what did you think of it?
Yeah, the game was pretty much done in the first half. Bayern could have scored 5 to 6 goals in the first half itself, but they were just little not clinical. They were getting lots of opportunities, and I am very not satisfied with the halftime substitutions.
Yeah.
Because out of the 3 Bayern players I have, 2 of them were substituted at halftime.
I don't think any of us are. Abdul, I think your mic might be rubbing against your top, maybe.
Okay, I'll get it up. It's good now?
It's better.
Take it a little bit further away. And then
a little bit further away. We'll guide you. Get it around here.
Okay.
There you go. So, Ed, which assets did you have for this game?
Well, bizarrely, I had exactly the same as Aaron. So I had my exact 6 players that Aaron's ended up getting whatever points on. I've got exactly the same, but I captained Mane instead of Sane. So I've done slightly better, which is a surprise for me this season because although I've had some really good seasons. The last two, I finished in the top 1,000 2 seasons in a row. This season, I haven't started that well. And I'd stuck to this. I think it's probably because I said it early on, but I felt like I had to be, consistent in what I'd said, and I stuck to this limitless 3 kind of strategy with a wild card next week. And so far, it's worked really well. It's worked a bit too well. So I've got Mane, captain, who's going to get me 30 points total. I've got Sane, who obviously got 12. I've got and then Davies, who came off at halftime. That's for this game. So yeah. So I didn't watch it. I was at work, but I checked the team. Checked that the only thing I was checking was Mane and Sane were starting. I knew I was going to go to buy an attack for this game, and I was surprised Davies was taken off. Obviously, hopefully, the clean sheet would have been great. But if he got a clean sheet, every single one of my players tonight would have returned, and I'd have no idea what to do with my bench. But we're going to come on to that, I assume.
Bless you, Ed. Yeah, because of my day-to-day, obviously, I put it in the spaces. I tweeted it today that we weren't allowed our phones anywhere near us to do. So I actually made my transfers early doors, and I committed to keeping Sane in just in case he'd come off the bench anyway. And I want to throw.
But what were these rumors? Why were people thinking he wasn't starting? Because of some random Twitter accounts?
No, it's because I think it's the build. They normally get Bayern's team sheets spot on. There are a few accounts that just get it horrendously wrong all the time, but they're actually usually pretty good with it.
Right.
And they'd said that Nagelsmann had been practicing something else, so everyone thought. Now, gratefully, obviously, we had the team sheets come out.
Yeah.
But I just thought, I spoke to Lewis at FPL Reaction, and he was like, "Do you not just think? Come on, remember last season when he did? He came on, bagged a couple." I was like, "You've just sorted my headache out, mate. Thank you."
Yeah. Okay.
So
the thing about Sane is in the Champions League, the last has he been the best? Here's a controversial question: has he been the best player in the Champions League for the last season and this season so far? He'd definitely be in the top. He'd be in the top 3, wouldn't he?
I'd agree. I think he's going to struggle to be, even despite how good he is across the 2 seasons. I still think he's going to struggle to be better than what Benzema was.
And Lewandowski, maybe those two will beat him.
And Vinicius Junior, perhaps as well, because Vinicius Junior's had a good start.
He's in the argument, isn't he? He's in the argument for the top 3 players of the last 2 seasons.
Absolutely. I 100% think so. Because last year he was so good, and he's starting again this year. But again, I think for players, it's about what they're doing in the knockout stages. Players can definitely stat pad in the group stage, the Champions League these days, when it's a massive team playing against some minnows. So. Yeah, I think, but I mean, to be fair, he did really well against Barcelona last week as well. I just think he can play well against anyone. Abdul, did we go through what Bayern Munich assets you had?
Not name wise. So I had Musiala, Davis, and Mane, who I captained. So at least I had the right person on the captaincy. I have to do this again. Sorry.
Yeah, it's fine. You were fine before, I think. Abdul,
I think that's right. You were just rubbing before, but you're fine. I think
you're fine. You're fine having it down there. Are you on Limitless, Abdul, or are you on normal team? Or what?
Oh no, I had done a wild card. So I had played my wild card. So couldn't afford Sane plus Mane. If Daniel and Adan would be knowing that we had this conversation a lot, that I had in the drafts where Mane and Sane was there, but last moment I changed it up. So very unlucky that Musiala was halftime substituted and his goal was disallowed because it was millimeters that Mane was offside. The 4th goal. Actually, there was a goal in the 4th goal in the first half which Musiala scored, but Mane was ruled as offside for some 1 millimeter might be.
Yeah. Obviously, Mane upsetting some people getting the player of the match, not upsetting you, Ed. As it could have been him or Sane.
Someone said in one of our group chats that we're all in, and someone said something like, Sane might get man of the match. And I thought, it's never that simple. This game always throws out. And I thought, do you know what? I don't think Mane should get it from what I'd seen and what I'd heard, but he's going to get it, isn't he? Because I'm just going to get lucky, and he did. So it's always a bit strange, this game, isn't it?
According to me, Mane deserved it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Mane could have scored a hat-trick in the first half. He the reason that the Plezenia goalkeeper got so many saves was because of Mane.
All right.
Just kept hitting it right at him. So I don't know if the amount of time he was actually on the pitch, plus the amount of chances he made, plus the potential assist for Musiala. But I think that all probably influenced it a lot. Plus, he's played the full
Even
90, I think.
yeah, that make a big difference because Sane was off at 60 minutes and Goretzka around 70 minutes, so he played more of the time as well. And he played the ball to Goretzka, for which Choupo-Moting scored the goal. So he was actually very creative as well, Mane. Whereas Sane had 2 great shots and good goals.
I still find it bizarre that Choupo-Moting is scoring goals for Bayern Munich.
Yeah, and he was
should have got
scoring
used to it by now
as well.
Yeah.
My only asset from this entire game was Leroy Sané, who I captained. And now I've got a bit of a headache because he got subbed off at 58 minutes, which is a pain because those extra 2 points do make a difference, in my opinion. Like 14-pointer is just, don't move. So I suppose the question I want to put out to everyone is, do I change my captain from Lewandowski to Haaland?
Do you mean Sane?
Sorry,
Yeah.
Sane. Someone's just put in one of the chats. I'm in Lewandowski's just came up. I just read it. Sorry, Sane. Thanks, Aaron. Do I change from Sane to Haaland?
To Haaland. I'm in the same situation, I guess, because I've got Sane captain. But I don't think I am. I think I'm leaving it.
I think it's mad to, for 2 reasons. One is I wouldn't be. Now, I know that this is, people have said this a few games in a row now. I wouldn't be 100% confident Haaland starts. Now, that's gone out of vogue a bit. Everyone was saying he was not going to start this game, that game, whatever. I don't know whether Pep has said it anywhere publicly, but
yeah,
it has he?
No, I agree with him. Just saying,
well, okay, so even if there was a 20% chance he wasn't starting, he probably will, right? But to change captain to him when he might not start is, I think, and Alvarez might start because we already know Alvarez is a very good player. He came on, he scored 2 goals. He's a top quality player. It's not like he's like against Copenhagen at home, they could play Alvarez and that would be fine. Yeah. There's players like Alvarez, Mahrez, who might end up being Champions League players for Pep. And we know he has Champions League players. He did it with Mahrez last season. I know Mahrez played a lot in the Premier League as well, but Mahrez was his go-to guy for the Champions League. So I've got Mahrez to come on tomorrow, right? I don't know who I'm going to bring him on for, but I'm pretty sure he's going to play. So I think that's a massive reason not to change captaincy. And second of all, what, 14 points? So to what, 20? No, what is it, 12? 12? So double points. To 24? Well, that's not bad. I mean, it's 2 goals from a midfielder.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to have to be a big haul to beat that. And I know we've got used to Haaland sort of being some sort of freak, but if he doesn't play 80 minutes, 70 minutes, I just think it's a massive risk.
I don't think he's going to play the full 90 regardless, whether he starts or comes, like, obviously if he comes on, he hasn't played the full 90, but I just don't think that he's going to play the full 90 because I don't think Man City will need him to. I think he probably will score if he's on the pitch, but if, say, for example, Foden, Mahrez get the goals, I think Haaland will come off. And I think it risks the early sub. Plus, Sané's goal was outside the box. And he's a midfielder, so he gets an extra point. So you need Haaland to get 2 goals and an assist to match that. And I don't think he'll be on the pitch long enough to do that.
I mean, he can do it in 8 minutes, though, as well. That's the problem with him.
True.
What I will say is I agree. I, at the minute, have no interest in swapping captaincy. I just wanted to double check because I do see, again, me and Lewis play the game in very different ways. He'd change. I think he is changing but I think he's got Salah, but I think he said he would change if he had Sané as captain. So there are different ways of playing it. I don't think I would because what are the gains? I'm risking losing quite a lot of points. So let's say Haaland gets a hat trick.
Yeah, you're gaining what?
Match.
Yeah,
that's 3 4 is 12 plus 3 is 15, and then 2 to 17, So it's like a 5-point loss.
Not worth it at all. No chance. And also, what OR are you, Dan?
What rank am I?
Yeah.
Like 10.5k, but I've got after my points tonight, I think I'm going to get a healthy green arrow.
Yeah, so I think if you were 500k right now or whatever, change, go for it. Like, what's the point? Like, it's different to FPL, isn't it? FPL's 38 game weeks. This is 6. It's a race. It's a sprint. So I think if you're in that sort of position already, I think just keep it and try and make your gains elsewhere.
Cool.
Plus, you've got your limitless left. So
I've got limitless.
When are you using that, Dan?
I think next week. I think it was always going to be for 4, so I could have early Man City team news, a couple of good home fixtures, and I don't think a lot about some of the away fixtures anyway. And I thought that some of the home fixtures this week were fine to have certain budget players, and it kind of proved that way. So I wanted to make the most out of the big players, really. It was just really Salah that was giving us a bit of a headache. But again, I'm sure I got 7 points. And I think on one of the things that I've done this year, I've just said Salah tends to get like 7 to 10 points.
I think he got 11 or 12 tonight because he got man of the match.
Player of the match, but wasn't he dreadful? All I've heard is how bad he was.
I don't know, mate. I don't have him in FPL. I haven't had him for about a year, and I'm very happy with that decision. But
yeah.
I still had him in my limitless team this week because I was just like, if they get a penalty, I genuinely thought if they get a penalty, he's going to take it, and they did.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Thank goodness. But I might even substitute him. We'll come on to that because I don't know what to do because I'm on limitless, so I've got this incredible bench ready to come on, but I can't bring any of them on apart from for one player who has blanked.
You're not going to substitute an 11-pointer.
I don't think so. After the man of the match, you would substitute him.
Yeah. Sorry, Abdul. Go on.
I said after man of the match he has got, I don't think so you would substitute him. That's 3 more points.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what do I do? Am I going to leave Haaland, Mahrez, and Nkunku on the bench?
Yeah, you leave Mahrez on the bench.
Yeah, probably.
Definitely Mahrez.
Okay, you haven't dealt with the other 2.
You play.
You picked the one that was easy.
I mean,
depends who the rest of the 11 are, to be honest.
Yeah.
Let's jump into
what's your lowest point scorer players? Depends on that.
I think Salah was before that. We'll come on to it. We'll come on to that, I'm sure. Sorry, Dan, we're distracting.
No, it's all right. It's the point of this one. It's just jump in, however you like that. We'll jump into the other early fixture because that wasn't without any controversy whatsoever. The Graydon curse striking again. Adan with one howler, followed by another howler, followed by a red card, which is these they continue to concede. So at the end of -4.
Yeah.
Yep.
And players that have him can't substitute him out because you can't substitute out.
That is the beauty of this game. I love it. It's so inconsistent because I don't have him. Yeah, it's so inconsistent because it's a game where you've constantly got flexibility between game weeks. Unless the worst happens and there's got no flexibility whatsoever.
It's like playing Demon Souls, where like how normal games, if you're struggling, it might make it easier for you. It's like, no, we're going to make this harder, and if you're doing well, it'll make it easier. It's like, this game is like that. It's like
I'm going to be honest, I have no idea what Demon Souls is, but it sounds.
For anyone
strange.
that plays a Soulsborne game, you'll know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
If you're struggling with it, the game makes it the difficulty harder. That's what this game does.
Yeah.
Or did Goncalves Goncalves didn't do anything, which I'm grateful for.
Yeah, he was substituted at halftime as well.
So
he played just the 45 minutes. Yeah.
And then Marseille did pretty well without a crowd there. Alexis Sanchez, Amin Harit, Leonardo Ballaredi, and Chancel Mbemba redeeming himself after his matchday 1 red card. Only Chancel could do it. So yeah, I mean, I didn't really see this one coming, but there wasn't anyone getting any returns from this.
Just to say, Dan, your little change of the camera there didn't quite go to plan because your camera's turned off.
Oh no.
I know.
Just keep going, fellas. I'll be back in a second.
I will just say Chancel Mbemba, as Dan and Aaron all know, played for Newcastle, right? And he was good at us, but I think, was it Benitez sold him?
Yeah.
Benitez. Well, okay. Well, let's not go through Benitez's transfer record because Benitez sold him, Ivan Toney, Adam Armstrong, Mitrovic. We could have had the best front three in flipping Britain. And then Chancellor Member at the back, but Benitez sold them all. But anyway, sorry, go on, Dan. I tried to fill the gap.
No, it's all good. Like we've said this before. Obviously, we've got no idea how old he is because the reason he got sold from Porto was because apparently
he's still only 18, I think, according to him.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. When we signed him, we thought we'd signed him at 18 years old, and apparently he was 24. As you do. Yeah. Harris got player of the match for this, so I think he was potentially the outstanding choice, maybe. But Ballaredi obviously getting a goal as a centre back, so he's getting 6 points for his. But I mean, moving forward, so we've got a couple of questions. A, are there Marseille players that we're overlooking? And B, do you think Sporting can turn it around in that second fixture? Abdul, you go first.
Yeah, Marseille players, if we go according to that, I was seeing Alexis Sanchez for them, but that's what is a problem because he's listed as a forward. It's a very precious spot that he takes up. So not really interested in any Marseille player. And I'm hoping Sporting turns around in the home fixture because this was away and I'm not sure the mistakes from the goalkeeper led to that thing and the red card and they were man down. They were all out of the game. So hopefully they should be back in the home fixture.
Ed, do you agree? Disagree?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, no, I think I agree.
Aaron?
Yeah, I think it's hard because a lot of this game was because of the preparation with Sporting arriving so late to the stadium. I mean, that's how I was able to watch a good bit of this match was because during the Bayern Munich half time, they were only 20 minutes in, which is when all the kind of craziness was happening. So, yeah, I think that it's hard to read too much into this game. I think it is just an anomaly. Go on what Sporting we had seen. Obviously, some of the red cards and suspensions. There was a lot of yellows, and there was Sporting were lucky not to go down to 9 or even 8 men at some points. They needed that half time. So I do think that kind of just what's already been discussed, Sporting have showed their quality. I think we just kind of view this game as a one-off, and I think normal service will be resumed, especially in the return leg.
So should I be going for Gonçalves on my limitless? Should people be keeping Gonçalves? Should people be getting Gonçalves in at all?
Not on a limitless, for me.
Yeah, I don't think with limitless, but I don't think you take him out either because judging on the other game in this group, it's Sporting's for the win. Like no team is really kind of no team has really took hold of this group except Sporting. And I think they're really fortunate that they're still in a really, really solid position. So I think Gonçalves is needed for the rest of the group stage.
So let's jump into the other fixtures that match up with these two groups because I don't think there's much to say about them gratefully. We'll start with Inter versus Barca. Inter with a 1-0 win. There were a few disallowed goals in this one. DeMarco seemed to be involved in absolutely everything. He did get a clean sheet as well, although Hakan Çalhanoğlu with the goal. I think he got player of the match for this as well. I think, maybe. Did you see that? Did anyone see that?
I've not seen who got the man of the match yet, but
I think they're all out because I was checking before, but I don't know if anyone saw this, but Dumfries got away with the most ridiculous handball at the end. I don't know. Have you all seen it?
Yeah, I was actually watching that game during that phase where it looked a clear handball. I'm not sure what the assistant referee saw there.
It was, yeah, I don't, because it went to VAR, they rechecked it and checked it. I went, oh yeah, that's one of the easiest red cards. Not red cards, penalties you're ever going to give. Just play on. I don't understand it at all. So yeah, that's I was trying to sort of wrap my head around it. I don't think many people would have had too many Inter players anyway, other than maybe like Gersons, who was benched as it was. Hey, Matt. So, yeah, I'm just trying to get up the list of all the player of the matches, but...
I've got it here.
Have you?
Yeah, so Bayern, Pleasant, however you say it, Mane. Marseille Sporting was Amine Harit.
Yep.
Liverpool Rangers was Salah. Napoli, Ajax Napoli was Giovanni Di Lorenzo. Porto Leverkusen was Diogo Costa. Club Brugge Atletico was Ferran Jutgla. Inter versus Barca was Hakan Calhanoglu. Frankfurt Tottenham was Djibril Sow.
Lovely stuff.
Who Newcastle once linked with very heavily, I remember.
Yes, every winter, exclusively in the January transfer window. So, yeah, obviously, with Calhanoglu and DeMarco being the major players, obviously, any Inter defender that started is getting you a clean sheet. Some Onana owners as well. I think Barcelona owners are going to be disappointed just because they apparently were very poor throughout the game. I watched the Napoli Ajax game mostly from the get-go till it was about 5-1, and then I just thought this is pointless now. But it just seemed to be Dembele and Dembele alone that could create anything. So that's a little worrying for Barcelona. Do we think they can turn it around for that second game at all? Aaron, we'll start with you. Go the other way.
Yeah, 100%, because all of these, so a little pat on the back for us, Dan. We said that if Inter start that back three of De Vrij, Skriniar, and Bastoni, they just look a lot more solid. Barcelona started creating 1,000,001 chances once Acerbi came on. So yeah. I think that Acerbi will start the next game, which I think Lewandowski is a good shout for that.
Ed, do you think that Barca can get a result at home?
I think Barca are a funny one, aren't they? I mean, Barca have got such talented players. They just need, if they click, they click. And if they sometimes, of recent years, the last 2-3, they've always had talented players. It's never been in discussion, has it? It's just, have they clicked? And they have at some points, and they have others. So I think it's Barca are just unpredictable is the way I'd put it at the moment. So I don't know. No idea.
It's more so just for people like me on a Limitless next week.
Not many people are like you on Limitless 4. I haven't heard that one much, but I'm going to watch you with interest. I thought you'd used yours last week, actually, but
I used standard wildcard last week.
Yeah,
and I'm using my Limitless next week. Obviously, at the end of this, we'll go through how many points we're on for this match day so far and stuff like that. See how things have gone for everyone. Abdul, do you think they'll turn it around, or do you think Inter will be too strong again?
I wouldn't say they will be too strong again, but yes, as Ed mentioned, it depends on which Barcelona turns up. So if they come up with Lewandowski firing all cylinders, they should be having a win. And Inter usually don't play so well away from home. That's what I've observed.
I agree. We'll jump on to the next game, Frankfurt versus Tottenham. I want to say as minimal about this as possible. The only thing I kind of want to discuss is, Ed, on our first show, you were talking about Harry Kane. Mm-hmm. Is he still in your thoughts? Is he still the miracle worker, the man that you want up front, the legend, the 11 million option that you're not going without?
It's absolutely bizarre that you just mentioned him, because I was about to comment just before when we talked about Inter not being good away from home, and how amazing is it that Harry Kane the other day in the Premier League, I know, but was the first player to score 100 Premier League away goals. So he scored more goals away from home by miles than he has at home.
Wow.
So I didn't have him. I have not got him in my Limitless squad, but Harry Kane this season is having a storming season. The only reason we're not talking about him is because Erling Haaland has scored twice as many goals. So Harry Kane's already got 7 Premier League goals. Champions League, fine, he hasn't really done it yet. But would I still have him in my team even at that price? 100%. He's a generational talent, and we don't know what it's just modern flipping social media football fans. We're going to look back and go, he might break Alan Shearer's record.
He's not going to break that
record. Probably not. Right, okay. He might, though. If he doesn't get injured, he's got a chance. I hope he doesn't. 3 Newcastle fans here, massive Shearer fans. Right, yeah. Right, but and I can talk about Shearer all day long. I could talk about how Alan Shearer scored 206 goals for Newcastle, and 6 of those seasons were when he was over 30, and 2 of those seasons he was injured. So that's an average of 20.6 goals a season, even when he was injured for 2 and he was over 30 for 6. Right? I can go on about it all day, but Harry Kane is so good, and yes, I'd have him at that price. To answer shortly your question,
you know what I can see happening is when anyone does break Alan Shearer's record, it's going to be similar to when Ronaldo broke Pele's, where we're going to then start counting Alan Shearer's goals before the Premier League existed, going, well, he hasn't broke it, has he?
He got 26, by the way, 286 total. So.
Yeah, exactly. It was just as unfair. But I just want.
But then you'd have to count everyone like records of like Dixie Dean and stuff back from the Premier League. So
it'll just be a Pele move where we're like, oh, I actually scored 1,000 goals.
Yeah. And don't worry, we've got it ready. When we need it, we will play that move.
Aces in the hole. Yeah. Does anyone want to say anything about assets from either of these teams?
No, I'm just happy that I didn't go with Son.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
that's it.
Let's move on. No one wants to see it.
The thing I'd say is, I think we have a bias sometimes as English fans for teams that we think they're not going to be good, and we don't really know much about them. We just write them off. Frankfurt are a good side the last 2 years, very good. Yeah. So let's not write it off as Tottenham have done badly. They're away from home against Frankfurt, who beat West Ham last season, who got to the final, yada 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 of the UEFA Cup. Also, we do it with teams like Hungary. I hate it. I read the media. Hungary are a flipping decent side. That's why they've got all these results. It's not fluke. It's not like fluke after fluke after fluke. It's because they're a good team. So it's not as bad, I think, as we might suggest.
I agree. And
I think as well, like, because when I watched all of these on the Goals show or whatever it's called, but they were talking about Antonio Conte's European record, and it's now dropped. His win rate has dropped below 30%. In European competitions, and they were talking about whether he is an elite manager or not, which I think is a discussion for another day. I think it's quite interesting discussion, but it was one of the first points that I had made on the podcast that we can't trust him in Europe. But then I thought that with this group, kind of what you were just saying, Ed, that Tottenham would have enough strength to make it through. They are really, really struggling, and I don't know what this kind of what is up with Conte in European competition, European football, but it just doesn't seem to click. So hopefully they turn it around to have more English sides make it later on. But I doesn't look likely at the moment.
Is Pep an elite manager?
Yeah, I mean, he's won the Champions League twice, hasn't he?
Yeah, with the same team.
Yeah.
Didn't win it at Bayern. Hasn't won it at City yet. This isn't me saying what I'm saying.
He's not. I know what you mean.
Can twist. Conte's won domestic so many times. Leagues all over the place, and I don't know. I think I would say Conte's an elite manager.
I'm on the side that he is because he also did really well with Italy.
But it is interesting these little channels you find in people's careers, and you go
100%.
That's interesting, isn't it? Like what's going on?
Is Messi elite because he never won the Premier League? Exactly.
It's a disgrace, really.
Yeah, honestly, awful. So OP. Let's before people take us seriously.
Yeah,
let's move in.
They'll never do that, Dan. Don't worry.
Thanks, mate. Porto versus Leverkusen. This was the game I was praying for at the end. I mean, Danny Carmo is an absolute roller coaster of a player. He handles the ball, gets away with it. Porto go up the other end, score. VAR sees it. Penalty to Leverkusen. Diogo Costa saves it. Keeps the clean sheet. Gets himself a player of the match. And then Carmo decides to get booked. So Carmo finishes with 4 points. Diogo Costa, I think, finished with 16 because he made 6 saves as well.
Leverkusen had a disallowed goal as well. That was offside.
And Leverkusen had a disallowed goal in the first 10 minutes or something.
Yeah.
What a wild ride. Taremi with a couple of assists as well. Just, I mean, total redemption for the goalkeeper after 2 torrid weeks. Absolutely torrid. And that's just what football does. Like there's no possible conceivable way that you look at Porto, concede 4 goals. You then think they're going to keep a clean sheet by having goals disallowed and penalty saves and all this sort of stuff. Did anyone else here have Porto assets?
The joy of a limitless, Dan, is that you don't have to have peasants like Porto players. You can have Madrid and just, Liverpool and City. That's it. That's the joy of the limitless. So no.
Abdul, did you have any Porto on your wild card?
No, I didn't have any Porto. Was very close to going for the Carmo, 4 million defender, but didn't go for it.
To be fair, he's got a point per million. Aaron, you have it?
No, I didn't.
So, yeah, I'm absolutely chuffed. I mean, Carmel's probably gonna have to come out. I think we'll have to see. Obviously, 4 points because I'm struggling anyway with trying. I'm like Ed, where I've got headaches all over. Leverkusen. I mean, it could have been a very different story, but I still don't want anything from them. Well done as well if you went for Taremi. I don't think anyone did.
Apparently, there'll be a new manager there, is what I'm hearing and seeing on Twitter.
For Leverkusen.
Yeah, now that because the Champions League was the only thing kind of saving his job, and now that they're bottom of the table, I think they'll make the switch because they're in the relegation in Bundesliga.
Yeah, they've had a torrid start of the season. The other game in that group, Aaron, before everything started, we all know that I'm a honorary Club Brugge fan for the Champions League, and I usually back them to like finish second. And this year I just said, you know what? I made myself look like a mug on this podcast too many times. They're finishing 4th, and if they qualify, I'll buy a Bruges top. I've just had a look at how much they cost. They're about £65.
Oh, flipping out, mate.
But they did win 2-0. They are top of the tree. And
not conceded a goal yet.
So essentially, Dan, you were the problem, not them.
Yes, well, that's exactly it. So I've got to try and just be like, no, I still don't like them. Otherwise, they'll screw up. Although if I do say that I love them again, then I might not have to buy a top and save myself 60 quid. I might have to just buy an old kit for like 30 quid or something like that. I can't buy this season.
Or like the training top, or just like one that just has like Bruges just written.
Yeah.
Just get a white T-shirt from Adan and write it. Yeah, exactly. There's a cost of living crisis, mate. Have you seen the interest rates? It's ridiculous.
Exactly. Might have to burn it just to keep the heating on. So, did any of us have Bruges or Atletico Madrid players? Ed, I imagine you didn't on your Limitless.
Of course I didn't. Mate, the best thing that happened on my Limitless this week wasn't the players that did well for me. It was everyone else didn't really do anything in the other game. That's the absolute treat. Because last week, when everyone played their Limitless, or 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it was ago, the last game week, I was on the group chat as I am with you, and I was watching, and it was going really well. I was thinking, great, all these top players haven't done well. And then the last 10 minutes, do you remember the last game week? The last 10 minutes, I can't remember what happened. I think Mbappe scored again, Messi scored, Neymar.
Yeah.
It just all went mad. And I was thinking, oh, what have I done? Once again, I've had some revolutionary, stupid idea that's stupid, and I've lost. And but I think just about, we'll wait to see Limitless 4, but just about, I think Limitless 3 should end up better. Unless something disastrous happens tomorrow.
Yeah.
I think it's been a good call. So I'm pleased with that.
Abdul, any Bruges or Atletico Madrid players?
Yes, the main man.
Yutka.
Yeah. So it was more of a tactical reason that I didn't have the budget and I had to take a cheaper forward and on the wild card, and he was the best option to go for. I knew he was going to rise in price as well, so I was trying to take up that advantage as well. Even if I have to sell him, I can sell him on more money. And he delivered with 12 points, I guess.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Great.
Was he the guy? How much is he on this game?
5.5 million.
Is he the guy, Dan, that when we did our preview, you said you were going to get?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Flipping heck, that's some cool, Dan.
Guess who was my early transfer this week?
Who?
Big Yuckler.
Yeah, but hang on. I thought you started with him, didn't you?
I started with him, took him out last week on wild card.
Oh,
Missed his points.
Where he scored 14 points.
Brought him back in this week.
Right, so you had no faith, really. No, I've lost all respect for you. I thought you'd had him from the start, kept him, some revolutionary guy. No.
No.
Yeah, no.
I am disgusting, Ed. I'm what they call a points chaser.
Okay. I'm what you call an idiot. So.
Aaron, did you have anyone from either of these?
No. Me and Ed have the exact same players playing today.
I have the wild ride as well. That is Ronaldo, who I think finished on 4 points.
Great name. I mean, that name suggests points, right?
Yes,
it's like a mixture of Ronaldinho, Rivaldo, Ronaldo, Romario. I mean, come on.
But he used to get more points when he was just Mandava. So he obviously conceded 2. He got a yellow card. So there's -2. But then he got like 12 ball recoveries. So he ended up on 4 points.
Wow.
So I think if I've got to keep one of them in between him and Carmo, I'll probably keep, even though they're the same points, just out of principle, I'll keep him in just for the sheer, when you click on it, the amount of different things that were happening for him. It was interesting to keep keep tabs on. And like I say, I've got Yukla. I mean, it's troubling times for Simeone because they aren't doing well in the league, particularly, and they are not doing well in the Champions League. And when you look at the players that they've got, they should be doing better. And he seems to be overthinking. Griezmann started. That was the biggest shock.
Yeah. I mean, it's a funny one with Simeone because it feels like naturally, just without even looking at anything, it feels like he should have left 3 or 4 years. Do you know what I mean? You know, when they won La Liga or something, he's been there so long. There was, for about 6 years, it's been Simeone's going to go to City, Simeone's going to go to United, Simeone's going to go to Barcelona. Not Barcelona, but Bayern or something like
Newcastle.
Yeah. No, we've got Eddie Howe, mate, and we're fine. But do you know what I mean? As in, it feels like he may have just got to that point where, like Wenger, he's just been there. He's been very successful. They love him forever, no matter what he does. But has he been there too long?
Maybe he's won 2 La Ligas with them, I think.
Yeah, he won one with Trippier, didn't he? 2018, 2019, whatever it was.
And he won one with David Villa. They're outstanding players that I remember. But he
and 2 Champions League finals.
A couple of Champions League finals. He's been amazing for them.
Yeah, but second isn't first, Aaron.
I think
Newcastle know that. We got to the FA Cup final in 97 and 98 and
98, 99.
Yeah, we lost both.
Both 2-0.
Yeah, Arsenal and United.
Man United for the treble, and Arsenal won the double. Ugh, sickening. Bad memories. Let's move on. Let's move on to probably the outstanding game for not necessarily controversy, but just it was absolutely unbelievable. It was the game. I said in our group chat that I wanted to watch. It was the game I said in Spaces I wanted to watch. Didn't disappoint. Ajax v Napoli. It was hell for leather in the first minute. They were just kicking lumps out of each other. It was amazing. It was like Sunday league football on a lovely carpet, but with players that could actually. Kudus with comfortably the luckiest goal I've ever seen, where one player's had a shot, it's hit him. He's standing about 5 yards offside, except for there is a defender stood on the byline, just nowhere near him. And I'll take it. I'll absolutely take those points. Could not give a monkeys. And then it was end. Napoli get a goal back, and at this point it still could go either way. 2-1, it could go either way, but a 3-1, Napoli just started running away with it. Obviously, the 10 men didn't affect the game at all, in my opinion. Maybe got an extra goal out of it, but they'd absolutely smashed it long before then. Aaron, you're the Serie A fan. What did you make of the performance, the game? Obviously, people getting points.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many points everyone finished on. I think I've only seen that Cravadonna got 10. Great cross and great goal as well. Raspadori, it's great that he's been able to settle in there. He had an unreal last season, and then he's done really well over the international break, as England fans know. And he's just a great player who yeah, I think it's great to see him do well. Simeone, who just seems to just. I mean, we all knew he loved the Champions League because of the whole story about the Champions League tattoo. But it's a goal per game that he's got so far in the competition. So I guess he was just born to play in it. And they're just a great team to watch, aren't they? I think it's a good kind of. For some people, they might still have that perception that Serie A is a boring defensive league. Hopefully, Napoli are starting to show that it's very different. If Atalanta over the last few years haven't showed that it's different.
I'm guessing that neither you or Ed had anyone from this game because they weren't expensive enough.
Yeah, pretty much. We had to scroll too far down. Ed, you're on mute.
If you've tapped into something there that's quite psychological in sort of fantasy terms, isn't it? That if you've got Limitless, you will go for the more expensive player, even if everything suggests going for the other one. But yeah, my good friend Gianni Battucci, who some of you will know through Fantasy Football World and Twitter and everything, and the FPL show, constantly going on about how Serie A isn't what we think it is. It's actually changed a lot in the last few years.
Completely agree with them.
Wing backs, Freese and Robin Goosens at Inter, and these players that are properly attacking and everything. It's Serie A's back, in many senses. So, yeah. But no, did I have their players?
This
not
is
expensive enough, mate.
This is one of those things where this is one of the reasons why I didn't want to go Limitless this week, because I feel like a lot of the expensive players play tomorrow, and I want Tuesday players on the Limitless.
My reason, I'll explain my reason again, right? Why I went, because I think a lot of people went last week because they said the wild card this week was the strong thing. So they based their game around the wild card, because if you got a wild card this week, you could plan for the good fixtures this week that then reverse next week, because they're the same. They mirror each other, right? So game week 3 and game week 4 mirror each other. For me, the most powerful chip in this game isn't the wild card. It's the Limitless for me. And I know maybe that's wrong. I don't know. But for me, it always has been. So I prioritize the Limitless. And your game changes if you do that, because I prioritize the Limitless. As I explained to you, Dan, on your pod when Aaron was away. If you prioritize the Limitless, for me, it was this week because there were a lot of home games for big teams. For example, Bayern saw their lineup before, got Mane and Sane. Brilliant. Just an obvious sort of win there. Then you've got City playing at home against Copenhagen. You've got Real Madrid playing at home against who? Sheriff or something. You've got Shakhtar. Sheriff was last season and they beat them. So that was bad.
Beat them.
Shakhtar, and then you've got there was
Liverpool at home.
And the argument against this tactic, as far as I could tell at the time, was but the same games happen in 4, so play the wild card. They're not the same games; they're away games, and in Europe, that's a massive difference. So for me, next week, I'm really interested to see, Dan, whether your strategy works, because as I look at it, I think next week's games are all really good fixtures for the big teams, but a lot of them away, and that, in my mind, makes a big difference. But we'll find out. You'll probably absolutely smash it, and then I'll look like an idiot. But that's my
no. That's the thing with this game. It can go either way. Like anything can happen. Abdul,
Yep.
Did you have any players from this game?
Yes, I had Anguissa, which was one of my last-minute changes.
How many points?
So
did he
got 8 points, I guess. I'm hoping he gets another ball recovery point somewhere miraculously. He's on 8. He got 2 assists.
Yeah.
And 2 points for playing, and he was on 2 ball recoveries. Hopefully it becomes 3 by the game refreshes.
One of the big shocks is Raspadori not getting player of the match, but instead Di Lorenzo getting it. He obviously did get a goal. Obviously with Raspadori's brace, I thought Raspadori was excellent as well. But there were so many players that could have had it. I mean, Kvaradonnis open goal, got a goal and 10 points. So my 2 players for this were Kvaratskhelia, and I had Kudus as well. So I had the pair of them. So I was pretty happy with that, obviously. couldn't ask for more with the two players that had in the game scoring and getting an assist as well between them. We will jump on to the other game in this group, Liverpool versus Rangers. Is Trent Alexander-Arnold the best defender in the whole wide world ever?
He's the best free kick
close
taker, I
second.
guess, currently.
But he scored a free kick, so he must be. Aaron, I want to start with you because you are banging this Simicast over Trent drum, which I didn't agree with. How are you feeling about that? I mean, he's still got a clean sheet, I suppose.
I mean, before I say this, if it wasn't for Simicast, Alisson and Alexander-Arnold would be without clean sheet points.
Correct,
So,
you are correct.
bless him. Honestly, I was very close to putting him in, but then I was like, I'm on Limitless. What's the point?
Not enough money, mate.
It honestly was. I was very, very close. I was scrolling down and I was like, I can't be bothered. And so I just went right back up to the top on price and just got Trent in. And I was like, that's the point of Limitless.
Done, mate.
I know. And
I'm
that was
proud
just
of
out
you.
of pure laziness.
I think Trent, essentially, for me, I think for everyone, right? If Trent had a bit more pace, he'd be a Bale and he'd go to right wing. And he just doesn't have that. I just don't think, for me, when I watch him, his technique is unbelievable. That's clearly true. Set piece taking, crossing, all that jazz, unbelievable. I don't think it's controversial now, really, to say his defensive positioning and defensive choices are suspect, but he's still only, 20, how old is he, 23?
23, but yeah, he's got lots of time to learn.
Yeah, so he could still become the best defender in the world in terms of both defending and attacking. But his attacking you can't beat. I don't think even Reece James or someone like that. I'm not sure who beats him going forward, but it's just at the back, and it's just been shown this season. As soon as Liverpool start doing badly, he's the one who is exposed. There's not many others you look at and think they've been exposed. Van Dijk has had a bit of criticism, etc., etc. But he's the one who it focuses on. And it's when a team is doing badly, you realise who the players are that you go, they need to raise their game. If a team is storming it because everyone's playing brilliantly, you don't notice. So for the last 4 years or whatever, Liverpool have been storming it. And for me, I've said that about 16 times, but for me, Trent is an amazing player, but defensively, he's absolutely lacking. And if Southgate didn't pick him for the tournament, for the World Cup, I'd think I probably would, but I get it. I do get it for the system that we're playing.
And I don't think he's good enough going forward to compensate for Reece James going forward when Reece James is much better defensively.
Yeah.
The difference there is just not enough.
100%. And even so the kind of the recent one has been Southgate saying Trippier is a better all-round player, right? Now, it depends what he means by all-round player. Is he better in terms of technically a footballer and overall, is he a better footballer? Well, I don't think Trippier is. But in terms of defensively and attacking and that balance, Trippier is, you can't argue Trippier's a better player, right? Yes. So it's a really tricky one, Trent.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'd do with him.
I think in terms of having him, I think he has to be in the squad purely because if you are, say, for example, in typical kind of England fashion, they don't score a lot of goals in
drawing 0-0 to Iran in the 80th minute.
Yeah, and that's what I see happening because Iran, kind of what you were saying before about Hungary, Iran are quite good defensively. They'll just sit there in a low block because they are not expecting to go out a win. They just have to try and get a point in terms of in
terms of getting through the group. Yeah,
they'll see themselves beating USA, and I forgot who the other team is. Wales.
If they draw against England, draw against Wales, and beat USA, they're through.
Yeah, and
I think they've got a really good chance to go through. They beat Portugal at the last World Cup 3-2 or something. But if you want a free kick taker, just take James Maddison and be done with
it. Adan, take Kieran Trippier and be done with it.
Yeah. I mean, I still want James
Maddison. The thing is, Aaron, I'd say, sorry to interrupt, but which right back would you drop?
From the squad?
If you're in the semi-finals and you play quarter-finals, you playing France, you are playing Kyle Walker without any shadow of a doubt, because you see how good he is in Champions League semi-finals against world-class players. He suits that position really, really well, and just let your left back. He can go forward, whatever, but you need someone like. I don't think you want any other player getting exposed against world-class players. To think Walker's out wide is the best defender. I wouldn't be playing him in this right-sided centre back of a back three that he's played 4 times, 5 bloody years ago, that people think he can't play. Nonsense. He's a right back. Stick him in there. Against some of the other teams, like in Iran, I'd play Reece James.
Abdul, just drop your mic to your top because you're breathing into it. And yeah, that's fine. That's good. Leave it like that. That's fine. I was just going to say that, I mean, I just think, like, you're right. Like, Reece James is the one for me, I think, because he's good defensively and attacking wise. I don't have him in FPL or anything like that, but I just think he's the one that I would pick. Trippier might end up playing left back, for England. That's the thing, because Shaw's not in form. Chilwell's been injured. I don't know. Sorry, Aaron, what were you going to say about Trent?
No, that's kind of similar. Oh, Abdul's gone. He was mad about you making him drop the mic.
Sorry. But it was sorry, I wasn't being rude. It was just I could hear him breathing through his nose.
No, I was only joking. No, so I think like in them instances, and I think Reece James will be the starting back because I believe that Southgate will play a back three. And when you're looking to change the game and you're looking for something, Abdul's back. When you're looking to be like, right, what can we change here? And you're trying to just throw everything up front. In that moment, I don't think Reece James to Kieran Trippier or to Kyle Walker makes a lot of sense. It has to be, we need to sacrifice defensive play, and that's where Reece James to Trent makes a lot more sense, because that quality of the forward passing improves.
I don't think Trent's that much better than Reece James going forward, personally.
No,
barely better.
But in terms of late in the game, I don't think Reece James to Trippier or Walker. I think that attacking threat.
Also, how have we gotten on to this? Bro, Liverpool Rangers, and we've gotten on to a 5-10 minute chat about England.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's football, mate. Like, as in, this is it, isn't it? This is it. Like, Trent, is he in your Champions League team? And you've got to go step by step back to go, hang on,
Look, he played that corner against Barcelona.
Yeah. Oh, he was really good back then. Yeah, because Liverpool were amazing and we didn't realise he couldn't defend. Yeah.
Ed, you must have some players from Liverpool, surely.
Oh, of course, yeah. I had Salah, I had Trent, and I had Alisson. So they've all returned. Like, this is my problem. Can we get round to my problem, please? This is why I'm here.
Yes.
I'm stuck because I'm in the same position as Aaron, right? So let me load it up. I'm going to show you the screen, okay? If you're watching on YouTube, is this all YouTube or is it audio as well?
Just YouTube, I think, for this.
Just YouTube. Yeah, okay. So
I don't normally turn these into a
podcast. Okay, well, fine. I'll read it out. I've got Alisson in goal, who returned. So I'm not going to change him. I've got Chesney on the bench there. I'm not going to bother. I'll keep that. Trent obviously got 14 points.
Wow.
Keep him. Davies got 1 point. So I'll bring on either Haaland, Nkunku, or Mahrez. All my other guys returned. Salah got 11 points. It says 8 there, but in one run of the match hasn't been added yet. Sane got 12. And Mane got 30 total when you add his 3 points. So I've got tomorrow playing Cancelo, Mendy, Alaba.
Right, no, okay. So bin off one of them Madrid defenders, putting in Nkunku and Haaland for Davies.
Okay, well, that might be it then, because then Vlahovic against Maccabi Haifa at home.
Yeah.
And Benzema against Shakhtar at home.
Yeah, I mean, Shakhtar can't score Real Madrid when Real Madrid got Lunin in goal.
I think the move is. Yeah, I think the move is, I think you're correct. I think it is sack one of them, probably Mahrez, who'll probably now get a hat trick, but put in Haaland for obviously Davies, and then Nkunku for one of the probably Mendy, Real Madrid.
How many points have you got? Have the bonus points added on yet?
No, they haven't been added, but when they do, it'll be 74 points.
74 points for you, Abdul. How many points are you on your wild card?
Currently, I'm, I guess, on 50 points. I've not added the bonus, so I get 9 more points, I guess, in bonus. So 59 it ends up with.
Aaron, what about you? I'm going to disappear again because I need to actually find out how many I've got. Aaron, how many you got?
I'm currently on 65, but I believe that I've got 6 points. I'll be on 71.
Yeah, so the only difference, I should just be 3 points ahead of you because I captained Mane rather than Sane. So
yeah, and that was the good thing about playing my team last week. Managed to keep up with a lot of people's limitless
yeah.
teams.
So did mine. Yeah, mine wasn't too far off. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think hopefully by the end of this week we have kind of caught up with everyone because they're kind of shot ahead. But
yeah,
now
the leagues have already
we are...
updated a bit, but not with the bonus points. So currently, I've now gone up from 500,000 in the world, 485,000. That's how bad my start was, right? I'm now like 70,000, and that is without bonus points. So you'll be ahead of me, Aaron. Where are you?
Oh, I'm not.
Okay.
I am. If this is up to date, I don't know.
Well, on my app, it's not updating, but on the website, it was.
All right, mine's not updating on the app, like.
Okay, fine.
But I am on 79 points at the minute.
Oh, and that's without a chip.
That's without a chip.
Who did you captain?
Sané.
And how many players have you played?
7.
Who have you got?
Costa in goal.
Oh, flipping it. Right, okay, yeah, go on.
Carmo, Ronaldo at the back with someone who got a 1-pointer. Can't even remember who the other one was.
Right.
2-pointer.
Nuno Tavares.
Captain, Kvaratskhelia, Kudus.
Oh, yeah. So if you beat me when I play a wild card, I'm quitting this. Limitless. I'm quitting this game.
Plenty of for tomorrow, mate. So the is that I have I've got Cancelo, Mbappe, Haaland, Nkunku, and Mendes still to play. But it's about taking players out. So one of the I can't remember what defender I've got that got 2 points. Someone got 2 points.
No, Tavares. Nuno Tavares.
Yeah, Tavares. That's who I had, Tavares. So he's coming out. And that'll leave us with the back three. So he's coming out and Haaland's coming in. And then I'm happy to take out one of those other. I
guess you mean Vinicius. Vinicius is on your bench currently. Haaland is in the team.
Yeah, sorry. So So that's my problem. Sorry, I've got to decide. Do I want to put on for this player Vinicius Junior or Nkunku?
Yeah. I would put in Vinicius Junior.
Aaron, Vinicius Junior or Nkunku? Because it's that Celtic defence, man. They are rubbish.
You don't have Benzema, do you?
I don't have Benzema, no.
I would put Vinicius Junior in.
What about you, Ed?
Dan, I'll ask you a question. What does your gut say?
Nkunku. But that's...
Yeah, I'd go in Nkunku. I think Nkunku, right, for me, he's trying to get a move to Chelsea. His Champions League is his big thing. How good was he last season? And it's a bit of a punt. Why not? Also, I want to beat you this week, so go Nkunku.
Is that what? But I mean, this is it. The problem is my formation. Because do I, obviously, if I was allowed to play 2 at the back, I'd just been off one of the 4s and put Vinicius Junior in anyway. I put the pair of them in. So, yeah, I've got to make. I might pull it or something. Oh my God. Do you want to talk about overthinking? Do you drop Haaland in case he doesn't play?
Now, this is an interesting thing. That would be an absolute ballsy move. And do you know FF Scout Luke on Twitter, who predicts the Man City lineups, right?
Yeah.
And he's pretty much always there or there.
97% or something, isn't he? Something ridiculous.
Say again?
He's like 97 correct or something.
Something like that. So I'm in a WhatsApp group with him, and might not have been on that. It might have been on one of our group chats actually. Some sort of screenshot came through that he'd predicted, and he'd predicted that Haaland does start but so does Alvarez, but no KDB.
Wow.
KDB gets rested. Mahrez plays. So it was Mahrez, Alvarez behind Haaland, and then Grealish. And then I think Bernardo Silva,
And Gundo center.
Gundo. I'm trying to count the players now. I don't know, whatever it was.
That's it.
But basically, KDB benched was his prediction. Do you know what?
Yep,
I'm going to
saw
message
that.
him. I'm going to WhatsApp him right now.
Yeah,
Fine.
no, that was the one which you said.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. I'm going to believe you. So there you go. So he
Laporte
might be
to
wrong, of
start
course. He
according
may
to
be wrong, but he thinks Haaland's going to start. I think, as I said at the start of the pod, there is a potential that Haaland is benched because he doesn't need to play him. He's got Alvarez, and it's Copenhagen at home, so you'd hope they'd win. Anyway, the argument against that is Haaland does not have a World Cup. So in a month, he's going to have 8 weeks off, whatever it is.
Yeah, he's not going to get dropped.
I would go with
You just can't.
I would go counter argument. He will play this week and he might not play the next week against Copenhagen.
That's fine.
Because
team news on that. We've all got nearly 2
Yeah.
weeks on it, so we don't even need to worry about it.
Yeah, Dan there playing the Limitless. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Next week,
So-
I'm playing the Limitless. I'll know. It's fine. Yeah.
So the question is, maybe do I take out Mbappe against Benfica? People are saying that maybe Benfica's a tough fixture for him.
Well,
So-
the interesting thing that Aaron will be able to speak into as well. So I was on Limitless this week, looked at PSG and thought, do you know what? I could get Mbappe. It's obviously Limitless. I could have got him. Away against Benfica, that's not an easy fixture. And I could see that being a 1-1, a 0-0, a 1-0, something tight. I could see it being tight. But what do I know? Aaron, did you pick any PSG players?
Yes, I've got Mbappe.
Oh, right. Okay, there you go.
And the reason is because he was rested.
Yeah, he
Well,
was.
he started on the bench. He is in charge of. Well, he's basically above the manager, isn't he? Like, kind of his weird contract situation that he made him stay. Like, he is the most powerful player in the world. It's kind of like a career mode that he's got going on. And he has a self-made rivalry with Haaland in terms of champion. Like, they will be the next Ronaldo, Messi in terms of scoring. And both of their records in the Champions League, they are beating each other's records of like the fastest player to score 20 goals, fastest most goals scored by an under 20. Like, all these sort of records, Haaland and Mbappe are already going head to head on that. Mbappe has acknowledged, I can't remember where it was, but at the start of the season, he acknowledged that he needs to keep up, basically. And for that reason, I think he will be on penalties, which is why I brought him in.
Well, and also the fact that he signed a new contract for about $500,000 a week.
Yeah.
He's basically the manager.
Yeah.
He in like. I
Something
think he
wrong
has
there.
a say in
Something wrong.
transfers as well. Like, he sits in transfer meetings.
It's just awful, that. I mean, that's not right, is it?
No.
Ah.
I can't believe they caved to make him stay. Rob, I mean,
Yeah,
it made
PSG
sense
don't know what they're
because he was
doing.
about to leave for
PSG
free.
The PSG business, the people who run it, they don't know what they're doing. They just got flipping far too much money. They've never won the Champions League with that much money. They don't know
play
what they're
Limitless every day.
doing. They've never, yeah, they have no
And
idea.
that's why maybe if they've just gone for some budget enablers, they might have won the thing.
If they just got Yukla and
Exactly.
flipping, yeah. All the
Didn't they
others.
try with Moise Keane? It didn't work.
Yeah. And to be fair, they bought Kabay off Newcastle, for goodness sake.
Yeah.
And
I know.
Wijnaldum.
Anyways,
Wijnaldum and Tottenham.
but I do have Mbappe. Like, he was actually, when I was making my Limitless team, my strikers are Benzema, Haaland, and Mbappe. When I was debating back and forth, is Haaland going to play or not? And I'm like, everyone's going to be in the exact same situation. If, like, everyone's going to sub him on, people are going to captain him. So I've got an advantage with the other 10 players. If Haaland doesn't play tomorrow, the majority of people, I think he's 63% owned, are playing this match day with 10 players. And so I was like, right, Haaland is in. Mbappe was going to be dropped for Lewandowski, and I'm thankful that I didn't do that. So, but Mbappe was the one on the chopping block for me, basically, because Benfica is a hard game. But in Kylian, I trust.
It's rough. It's just rough. I've got no idea what to do. Abdul, what are your transfers or substitutions, to make for tomorrow?
Yep, so I have 2 easy choices. So Pedro Gonçalves and Davis is easily going out because both of them got 1 point. So I have Jota coming in and Guerrero. The main dilemma I have is with Musiala. So should I remove him for the 4 points to get in Kostic? So that's the thing, because there were news floating around that he might not start.
I think he will start, but Aaron?
I saw this on Twitter that people were saying that he might not start, but I've not seen it. I don't know where the news came from.
I guess it's for a predicted lineup. It was that he might not start.
Yeah, I've seen other predicted lineups where he does start as well, though, just to make you aware. From the Italian media, they think he is going to start. We had all this nonsense with Sané not starting. Don't let it get in your head. It's up to you whether you want to risk it. If I'm just saying that if it was me, I would risk Kostic.
Yeah, even I'm in favor of that.
Just because I just think the fixture is good, and he's sort of playing as a left winger. So I just think, I'd personally have him. I think we're going to wrap it up there, unless anyone's got anything pressing to say.
I think we've lost Ed, but
yeah, Ed, are you there? Are you there, Ed? Because we're about to not be here.
Yeah, I was just seeing on the points table. I don't think so. Leverkusen is currently out. They might be fourth, but all of them, if I'm not wrong, are tied in 3 points.
Yeah, you can't.
Except for
you also can't be out after 3 games anyway. So everyone, no one is out yet, because you need at least 4 games for teams to be out.
No, you can be out if you have lost all the 3 games. And
no, you can't. Newcastle United were the first team ever to lose the first 3 games of a group stage and still go through. So
qualify.
Yeah, but it depends on the other results as well, right? So if 2 of the other teams had won all 3.
Yeah, but no one's out yet anyway, Abdul.
No one's out.
But yeah, we'll leave that there. Obviously, we've been on for nearly an hour and 15 minutes. Thanks everyone who's jumped on. We are the main event. You can find us on Twitter at UCL Fantasy Pod. So jump onto our profile. You can find our link tree there. It's got the link to all of our other podcasts, whether that's on Apple Podcasts, Google, Spotify, Anchor. Ed, do you want to plug everything that you do?
No, it's fine.
Spot on. Abdul, do you want to plug everything that you do?
I don't do anything, so that's fine.
Aaron, do you want to plug everything that you do other than this? Brilliant. Well, we will see you all next time. We hope you've had a great evening, and we will see you tomorrow for another live stream. Night, everyone.
Good night.
I haven't even clicked end yet because I have the power.
I like you have the power. Come to Fantasy Football Fest.
Are you gonna have one in? Are you gonna have one in the north?
Yes.
We still are streaming, by the way.
Stop streaming.
I wasn't meant to say that. That's private information. But yes, we are.
Do you guys change your captain? No. Bye.
Bye. Yeah, no. Oh, it depends.